Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and it is time for a recap of Love and Hip Hop ATL, aka the Young and the Ratchet Reunion Special Part 2. So I wasn't able to live tweet live because I was out with my kids. It was the day before school. But I got to watch that shit last night, and we were kind of talking about it on Facebook. I couldn't believe what the hell I saw. It was just so much fuckery, okay? So let's go ahead and start up at the beginning. So the show's getting ready to start, and Benzino's making all these little slick comments. Stevie J's saying that he's hot, and Benzino's mumbling under his breath to Mama D, talking about, yeah, that's that coke. That's that cocaine. And Stevie J's like, what did you just say to me? And then Benzino's like, you heard me, don't front in front of these cameras. Stevie J jumps up and start walking towards Benzino. All of a sudden, Joseline gets up and she runs towards Althea and just starts bloop, 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 starts hitting on Althea. Instead of Benzino trying to fight Stevie J, he jumps on Joseline and punches her in the head. So the whole situation was just a mess. Stevie J and Joseline, them two fools had literally the strength of 20 crackheads. They was boxing with everybody from damn security to backstage. Joseline then came out, whooped the shit out of Tammy's ass, then went backstage and beat Mimi's ass. It's like Joseline was not holding no punches. And the bitch was like, who wants some next? Who wants some next? I'm like, bitch, who is you, the Puerto Rican Debo? Like, Joseline, are you serious? You need to calm down, boo. You doing a little bit too damn much on this reunion show. So the whole situation was a mess. So after all the melee, the brawls, all these folks fighting, they ended up clearing the stage, clearing the audience. The police were called. They escorted Joseline and Stevie J out. Benzino and Althea left the taping all together. Then they come back to have a kumbaya session about Joseline and Stevie J. Now, I wasn't feeling this at all. First of all of these people on this stage have been ratchet as fuck at one point in time, okay? Let's not forget season 1 and 2. I remember Rashida trying to fight K. Michelle when Rashida was pregnant with baby Carter. Erica Dixon got into it with Joseline and was fighting. Stevie J and Scrappy done fought before. I mean, there was that huge parking lot brawl. I love how everybody's trying to act all dainty and demure and, you know, now we're all classy because this is season 3. Y'all are still ratchet as fuck. I don't give a damn what season this is. All of these folks, including Mimi, everybody else have all behaved ratchet. Nico too, because Nico almost fought Stevie J. So I just found it fun they could all sit there and have this, you know, kumbaya intervention. I'm sitting here like, who the hell made Mama D the illiterate voice of Love and Hip Hop Reunion 2? It's like she's trying to give all this damn advice and can't pronounce shit. She's not making no sense. Half the shit that she's saying just sounds mumbled. With Joseline, you know, she just needs to, you know, she's just doing, I don't know. It's just, bitch, what are you trying to say? Spit the shit out. It's like Mama D was getting on my nerves. She just wanted to hear her damn voice. She just wanted to hear herself talk. I ain't gonna lie, that purple lipstick was pretty as hell because I was showing her trying to figure out what shade that was because y'all know I fucks with purple. Mama D, I'm gonna need you to tweet me and let me know what shade that was that you was rocking during the reunion show because that shit was pretty as hell. I ain't even gonna front. You know, another thing I found funny was Tammy. You know, she wants to kind of play innocent. Now, while Tammy's a pretty girl, I feel like people let Tammy get away with a lot of stuff because she is a pretty girl. Tammy's messy. One thing I'll say about Joseline, even though Joseline, you know, she be on some hood booger ratchet shit, Joseline has been the same person from day one. Joseline ain't never made no qualms about who she was. She told y'all from day one she was a prostitute, a hoe, a stripper, and she's ratchet as hell and she'll beat anybody's ass. Joseline don't care. She's always been that way. Tammy tried to come on like this, you know, prissy, you know, I'm, you know, Waka Flocka's wife and da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, she's that girl from Baltimore and she fights too. And she started a lot of shit with Joseline because if you guys remember when everything went down between Tammy and Joseline, yes, Joseline was kind of throwing some hater shots at Tammy, and I said that. But my thing is, whatever Tammy was feeling, she should have addressed it right there and then to Joseline. You don't go running back to Rashida and Mimi, and you know Joseline and Mimi don't get along. And that's when I gave Tammy the side eye. Because to me, she was being messy in that moment when she went back and told all that stuff. So then when Joseline confronted her as opposed to just being fake, then Tammy wants to get mad and, you know, go off on her and call her a prostitute and clown her. Now, that's fine. She has a right to react that way. But why are you shocked that she tries to beat your ass at the reunion? She told Tammy, get with the winning team, ho. And if you're not going to, you see what I do to you. And Joseline basically showed Tammy what she was going to do to her by pulling out her damn ponytail. Now, I fucks with Miss Deb. Y'all know I'm a big Miss Deb Anthony fan. But I love how Miss Deb want to yell, there needs to be mandatory drug testing on this show. First of all, there was mandatory drug testing. Trust and believe your son would not be on the show because, as we all know, Waka Flocka gets high, and that's why he's having trouble now getting Tammy pregnant because of all his years of, drug abuse, getting high off of weed, X, and all that other shit they rap about, drinking lean. All that shit can affect semen production. So before folks want to yell out about mandatory drug testing, make sure your own peoples are clean. You feel me? And another thing I kind of found hypocritical is Tammy was saying that Waka Flocka was out on tour. But if you go back, when they cut to that scene where Miss Deb was on the phone with Waka Flocka, you could hear Tammy going off like, where the fuck are you? You should have been here. You left me by myself. And I'm like, okay, if he's on tour making money for your household, why are you mad? So that leads me to believe that maybe he's really not on tour. He just didn't want to come to the reunion. And Tammy was there with Miss Deb trying to hold him down, because you're not going to flip out like that if your man is at work. That's like me getting into a fight at the gas station and then calling my man and going off on him because he's at work. Like, you should have been here. I got into a fight. Fuck you for working a 9-to-5 job. Like, what the hell? You got into a fight. That's between you and that girl. What was Waka gonna do? And then I also found it funny how Tammy was like, I guess it's a blessing because if Waka was here, all hell would have broke loose. If Waka was here, okay, boo, I'm gonna need you to calm down. Now y'all know I fuck with Waka Flocka Flame heavy, okay? That's the tongue twister. But let's roll it on back to I believe it was 2009. If you guys remember, there was a videotape of him and Gucci Mane. They had gotten confronted by some Crips at one of their video shoots. And them dudes was popping off. And Waka literally sat there. He didn't do anything. And then there was some dude, like once he wanted to kind of get butt, there was a dude literally holding like a plate of food, and he's like holding Waka back like this. He act like he couldn't just push the dude out the way and went and go, swing on those dudes. So, it's easy to get hyped on a scripted reality show and act like, oh, if I was there or if I had a chance, I'd do this, this, and that. When in reality, he probably would have sat down there just like Young Jock, Lil Scrappy, and Kirk Frost did throughout the reunion show. I just didn't like the fact that they took literally the whole reunion to sit and talk shit about Stevie and Joseline. While these two are not my favorite people, like I said, all these folks on stage need to clean their own closets out before they go talking about Stevie and Joseline, because all these folks, let's be honest, a lot of these folks get high. And a lot of folks who are on these reality TV shows out in Hollywood, Atlanta, they're not just smoking weed. They're doing X, they're doing lean, they're snorting, they're tooting. I said from day one, and y'all can go back and watch my first video, I said from day one, all these fools are snorting coke, including Mimi and Nico, because Mimi's attitude is no different from Joseline. Mimi's ass will go from 0 to 10 in less than 1.2 seconds. She will flip out on Ariane in the, at the drop of a dime. So you can't tell me Mimi ain't getting high either, the way her mood swings be shifting and everything else. The problem is with Joseline and Stevie, even if they were high, if they were high, all this shows is that they don't know how to handle their dope. And they got high right before the reunion, whereas everybody else was either going to get high afterwards or they got high the night before. But I also feel like a lot of this was just anger. Because it was a lot leading to this reunion. There had been so much Twitter beef. There had been so much arguing. I covered this over the summer with Benzino and all them getting into it. Stevie J posting that picture of Althea, so it had been a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like it was more anger than it was necessarily them being high off of dope. And Benzino's one to top because there's all types of rumors about him getting high on the internet, him snorting lines and everything else. So it's like, don't throw shade at Stevie when you doing the same thing. Like they say, birds of a feather flock together. And if your homeboy's a cokehead and he's doing lines, 9 times out of 10, you are as well. If that's your tight homeboy, if you that close with him, most likely you getting high right along with him. And I just find it really, really sad that Benzino really flipped out about some chick that he's only known a short time. He didn't fight that hard over Carly Red, and Carly Red was part of the show. And I think Carly's really the only one who kind of kept it real. She was like, you know what, me and Joseline are not best friends, but I don't have no issues with her. We've had our issues, we've gotten into it, we've argued, but we kind of let that go. And then Rashida's like, keep it real. You need to be real that you're not her friend. No, Rashida, you're not Joseline's friend, but it's strange that when Joseline comes around, you speak to her and you act like you and her are cool. So I don't know. I just felt like the reunion was it was stupid. It was super ratchet, super ghetto. And what I found funny is when Mimi got her ass whooped by Joseline, when Joseline attacked her, where was Nico? He was sitting at somebody's desk talking on the phone. He must have been talking to his wife because he didn't pay Mimi's ass no attention. He didn't get up to go see about her. He didn't get up to go check on her. But yet and still, you're on this show because of Mimi. So I just find the whole situation crazy. But Moni convinced me with all these damn recaps and her trying to break it down as to what was going on the show and how they had to escort this person. Mona knows what she's doing, and this bitch is pimp parent, like I always say, is strong than a motherfucker, because she had all them folks acting a fool, acting super ratchet, fighting and everything else, while she sat there with her hands behind her back, knowing she was throwing all them rocks and kicking off all that stuff. They can say what they want to say about how they don't want violence and how they want this to be a nice show and a good reflection, but at the end of the day, these shows were based on ratchetness. These shows were based on fights, arguments, and everything else. This is why this show is so popular with a lot of people. I don't care if it's Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop New York, or this new one, Love and Hip Hop LA. That's what these shows are based on. So for them to now try and act like they're classy because they're wearing ballroom gowns, miss me with the bullshit. They're all playing characters on this show, and Mona knows she's getting paid. She can scream all that shit about how she doesn't want any violence, but she hyped up this reunion fight for months on end, and now we finally got to see the reunion fight. So don't act like all of a sudden you have issues with violence and ratchetness when you hype this shit up all through the summer. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm done with my rant. Let me know what you guys think about the whole Joseline Stevie situation. Do you feel like they were on coke, or do you feel like they were just angry? And how do you feel about everybody trying to throw them under the bus as if they're all innocent, have never been on fights on this show? So let me know your thoughts. All right, deuces.